Hey everybody, welcome to the assignment number 3 walkthrough video. Assignment number 3 is the creative performance plan, and this one is worth the most grades out of any of the assignments. So our quizzes are worth 25%, and then the first assignment 1, that's worth 20%, so now we're at 45. Assignment 2 is worth 25, so that's 70. And then this creative performance plan is worth the remaining 30% of the grades for this course. Let's get started. You can see here at the top it says creative performance plan. There are 3 parts. If we take a bird's eye view here, you can see that we have part 1, which has 9 steps, part 2, which takes us through to step 14, and then part 3 takes us through to step 21. Okay, so there's a lot to do here. This is worth 30% of the course grades. So in my view, it needs to be some substantial work. But it may look like it's a lot at first. I don't think that you need to be intimidated or anything by it. Just follow step by step, and you'll get through it with relative ease. All right, so let's walk through this. Part 1, it says here key skills. So it says in part 1, we will explore the key domain general and domain specific creativity skills relevant to your field through ideation. Now, there is a video lesson for you to watch this week. It'll be under week 6, and it has to do with ideal work traits and creativity skills. The concept of domain general skills and domain specific skills is thoroughly explored there and explained. So I recommend if you're watching this first to pause and watch that video first. It isn't that long. I think it's around 7 minutes, 7.5 minutes. Let's get back to this. So it says here in part 1, we will explore the key domain general, domain specific creativity skills relevant to your field through ideation. And then what we're going to be doing first is we're going to do our first ideation stage. We're going to do a number of these as we go along. Let me zoom in here. Step 1, on Miro or using real sticky notes, you should be used to this kind of format by now. Why are we doing so much brainstorming in these exercises? Well, one of the reasons why is because we're going to be talking about these domain general skills. Domain general skills are the skills that are relevant across work areas. We also have domain specific skills, domain specific creativity skills. These are ones that are more relevant to the specific fields, the specific areas that we work in. So I work in education, someone might work in journalism, someone might work in government. In those areas, there are very specific skills and very specific creativity skills that aren't as relevant to other areas. So we have domain general skills, we have domain specific skills. Now, brainstorming, ideation, deferring judgment, striving for quantity, doing all this divergent thinking, all this convergent thinking, these are domain general skills. They are really important skills that enhance our creative performance no matter what field we're in. So in this course, that's something that we've prioritized. That's something that I've prioritized, is that we are brainstorming all the time, right? We're striving for quantity. We're coming up with lots of ideas. And that is something that takes practice, right? The first few times that we do it, we might not be that great at it. But the more that we practice it, the better we become, and the more we develop that skill. So you can see these are exercises that we're doing. These are activities. These assignments are exercises and activities to help develop that skill of brainstorming. Divergent thinking, convergent thinking, all of that stuff. So let's get back to this. It says here on Miro, using real sticky notes, brainstorm 25 key skills contributing to success in your field. Remember, if you hit a wall in your brainstorming, you could freewheel Remember the guidelines for brainstorming. Guideline number 3 is to freewheel, which means to come up with some wild ideas. That's just some advice here in case you start to find that those 25 ideas that you're brainstorming is a lot, is a big number, right? So I recommend just letting all of your ideas come up and flow onto the page as usual, right? Yeah? But if you get stuck, you can freewheel. So it says here, step 1, on Miro using sticks. So I'm going to work on Miro, but of course you can work using real sticky notes as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to this template, remember this template, and I'm going to choose brainwriting because brainwriting is going to drop all of these sticky notes. And I need 25, so I'll say, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to delete all of the superfluous ones, all the overflow. If you want to strive for more quantity even, feel free to come up with 30 ideas, right? On Miro using sticky notes, brainstorm 25 key skills contributing to success in your field. So what is my field? I'm going to put this another one up here. My field is education. I've been using this example as we've been going along in these assignments, and I'm going to align it to the left because I like how that looks. So what are some skills contributing to success in my field? What's one skill? Okay, one skill contributing to success is being able to verbally explain concepts, right? Okay, what else? What's another key skill contributing to success in the field of education? I'll say that another one is being able to manage groups of people. Talking about students here. So you see, I'm writing with some degree of detail, not just writing like talking, right? But explaining with a little bit of detail. Now I'll do another one. I feel that in this day and age, I'm making all of these videos, and as profs, we make a lot of videos now because we have to teach these online courses. So I'm going to write that like video recording and lecturing is an important skill. And that's reminding me of another one. I'm going to write video editing. Being familiar and competent with video editing software. So you see what I'm doing? I'm writing down all of the key skills that contribute to success in my field, which is the field of education. So I'm not going to go through all 25 now, but that is what you would do. You'd come up with all 25 of these. And remember, if you get to a point where it's like, wow, I can't think of anything right now, then I'd be like, okay, let's freewheel. What's like a wild idea? What are some wild ideas? What are some wild key skills contributing to the field of education? I don't know. I'll say like being able to do arts and crafts to make your arts inclined students interested. And you know what? That is actually turning me on to another idea that isn't that wild. It just kind of, that wild idea reminded me of this other thing. And I'll say that having design skills to create interestingly designed PowerPoint slides, right? So you see how the freewheeling works? It isn't just the wild ideas. It's the fact that coming up with a wild idea might put you on track to having some other ideas that will come to the surface, right? So there you go. You do that, you keep going until you have all these 25 skills. Striving for quantity here. Step 2. What is step 2? It says once you've reached a saturation of ideas, that means once you've finished all 25, sort them into 2 categories according to types of skill. The first category is domain general skills. The second category is domain specific skills. Okay, so we started to touch on this. So if we imagine that I'll zoom out here on Miro, that I've completed all these 25, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another sticky here. I'm going to drop it below. I'm going to take another sticky. I'm going to drop it below. And I'll duplicate it so that we have 2, right? I might even change the shape. You know, if I click on the object, the toolbar comes up. I'll change the shape to have it be wider. And in the left one, I'll write domain general skills. And on the one on the right, I'll write domain specific skills. Okay. And now I'll put these over, and then what I'll do is I'm going to look at each of my ideas here. Let me make this full screen so it's easier to see. And I'm going to sort them into the categories. So I'm going to, once I've taken all of these ideas and I've sorted them and I've put them around, maybe all these ideas were, domain specific. Maybe these ones were domain general. That's a little bit too rough. You want to sort each of these individually. Okay, once I have that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a screenshot. So I'll go, okay, here we go. Say cheese, boom. Okay, and then I'll paste it in the space below because that's my sorted idea set. I just want to remind everybody here that anytime that we're brainstorming as part of these assignments, it's not acceptable for the purposes of this course to use artificial intelligence. So it's not acceptable to use ChatGPT or something like that. For the purposes of this course, using artificial intelligence, using ChatGPT or Bard or any of those generative AIs is considered a breach of academic integrity, a violation of academic integrity. Just to remind you of that. So, check it out. It says here, step 4. Now that you've sorted your idea set, rate each idea. You've done this in the past. It says here, on your mural frame, assign each skill 2 ratings, each on a scale of 1 to 5. For rarity, how rare the idea is, and for value, how valuable it is. So, what I'm going to do is I'll zoom in here and I'll say, okay, brainstorming. Let me rate that on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of rarity and in terms of value, right? So how rare is brainstorming as a skill? Sorry, I'll use a scale of 1 to 5. You can see underneath here it says low rarity is a 1, moderate rarity is a 3, high rarity is a 5. So I think that it isn't that rare. Lots of people can diverge and converge, so I'll give it like a 2 out of 5. But value, I'd say it's very high, so I'll give it a 4.5 out of 5. You see what I'm doing here? I'm rating each twice. Once for how rare it is, and once for how valuable it is. Now, I might, copy this so that I can just paste it here. So I'll do that. Yeah, I'll copy and paste just the template of it so that I can just make my life simpler. Okay. Having design skills to create interestingly designed PowerPoint slides. Rarity. You know what? I think that's actually pretty rare. Not that many people are great at that. Value, I think it's actually pretty high. It's really helpful to be able to do those things. Video editing. Being familiar and competent with video editing software. You know what? Let me paste this here. Rarity, that's really high. I'll say that's a 4.5. Value, I'd say that's becoming more and more valuable. So you see, by doing this, we're starting to be able to see which ones are highly valuable, which ones are quite rare, and which ones are both. Okay? So you want to do that for all of your ideas. You want to go through all 25 and you want to rate each of them for rarity and value. Now, once you've completed that, you go on to the next step. What does it say here? Step 5, you rated every skill on your board. Next, calculate the rarity by value quotient by adding them up. So holy cow, that's a lot of work, isn't it? But it's important work. So check it out. Once you've done that, you can add these up. So what's 4.5 plus 2? That equals 6.5 out of 10. This other one, 4 plus 4.5, that's 8.5 out of 10. Underneath here, this one is 9 out of 10. So you see, that's what we're doing. You're going to calculate rarity by value. I should actually call this rarity plus value quotient by adding up the scores. And then once we've done that, you want to take a screenshot. Imagine that we've done this for all of our ideas. We have our rarity score, our value score, and our rarity plus value quotient. I'm going to frame this up nicely. I'm going to get ready for a screenshot, say cheese, got it, and then I'll paste it there. Next, step 7, take the 3 high scoring skills and place together just to the side of your idea set. So which are the highest scoring ones? Imagine that this one scored a 9 out of 10. This one scored an 8.5. And imagine that we have another one here that also was like 9.5 or something like that. So we're going to take those. I'm going to put them to the side here. I'm going to zoom in, right? And I'm going to take a really nice zoomed in screenshot. Here we go, and boom. And then I'll paste it over here. Take a photo screenshot. Now it says here, step 9, keep this photo handy because you're going to need it to inform part 2 of this assignment. Okay, cool. So there we are. We're done part 1. Let's start part 2. Now we're moving on to considering methods to develop those skills, activities and exercises to develop that. So it says here, in part 2, we will explore the exercises and activities that we can practice to develop the key skills we ideated in part 1. So we're going to ideate for the second time here. It says ideation 2, step 10. On Miro or using real stickies, take the top 3 key skills that you converge to. Okay, so we have them here. You can see them on the right. The top 3 key skills that you converge to at the end of part 1 and put them on new stickies. You want a separate sticky for each of these skills so that you have 3 stickies. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to duplicate these. I'm going to duplicate them and then I'm going to change their color. So I'll change these to, maybe I'll do dark blue, or it looks more like an indigo to me, but okay. So we have those there. Step 11, next, brainstorm 21 exercises or activities. So again, we're striving for quantity, right? Every time we brainstorm, we don't just want to come up with a couple ideas. We want to hit at least 20 ideas every time we brainstorm. And once you're done this course, you might want to even bump that up to 30. Why not? So it says, next, brainstorm 21 exercises or activities that would help develop these skills through practice. 7 for each skill. So, okay, I'm going to put these, I'm going to arrange these here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get 7 yellow stickies. All right, so next on brainstorm. So we're brainstorming 21 exercises or activities that would help develop these skills through practice. 7 ideas for each. Here is an ideation prompt to spark your brainstorming flow. In what ways could I develop and practice this skill? Okay, so let me zoom in and focus on each one. Video editing, being familiar and competent with video editing software. Okay, so in what ways could I develop and practice that skill? So you see what we're doing? We're doing that until you complete the 7 and then move on to the next. Having design skills to create interestingly designed PowerPoint skills. I'm just going to brainstorm until I have 7. And I'm going to do the same over here until I have completed all 21. And then underneath, step 12, take a screenshot. We know all about that. Oh, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to take my screenshot. I'll paste it below, and then I'll move on to step 13. It says here, take close-up screenshots of each. So I'm going to zoom in, right? And I'm going to do the same. I'll take a close-up of each and every one of these. That's 1. That's 2. And that's 3. Awesome. And I'll paste those 3 below under step 13. Step 14. Make sure to keep a copy of these photos handy. You'll be using these to inform part 3. So that's it for part 2. We're done. All you had to do is come up with these ideas of how to develop those 3 key skills that we ideated in part 1. Let's move on to part 3. So it says here, for part 3 of this assignment, please follow the instructions below and fill in the appropriate tables as you go along. Step 15. For step 7 of part 1 above, you selected your top 3 worthwhile skills generated through your ideation process. It says here, copy these top 3 skills to the table below. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, video editing, being familiar and competent with video editing software. And I'll bounce into here and I'll just paste it. And match destination formatting. What's my second skill? Having design skills to create interestingly designed PowerPoints. Copy. Paste. My third one, being able to do arts and crafts to make your arts inclined students interested. Copy. And paste. Well, paste. So there you go. There you have it. And I'll see there's an autocorrect. I'll select that. So you see, this is getting kind of easy because we've done a lot of the work before. Now we're just compiling it. We're compiling it to this document. Okay, so it says here, step 16. For step 13 in part 2 above, you took photos of 7 interesting exercise activities for developing each of your top 3 skills. List those 7 exercise activities in the tables below. So skill 1, I'm going to write take video editing, and I'll just put it at the top here. Skill 1 is video editing. Skill 2 is PowerPoint design skills. So I'll write that at the top of the second table. PowerPoint design skills. And I'll capitalize A for editing. And what's my third one? Being able to do arts and crafts to make your arts inclined students. I'll say arts and crafts skills. Right? Okay. So it says here, list those 7 exercises activities for developing each of your 3 skills in the tables below. So all you need to do here is you need to copy and paste again. So for video editing, my first development activity was watch LinkedIn Learning video tutorials on video editing using Adobe Premiere. I'm going to copy it and I'll paste it here. Boom. Second one is make a video lesson every week for a month. Copy again, paste. Get someone who knows about video editing to show me the ropes. You see what I'm doing? I'm just copying them and pasting them over. If you used actual sticky notes, you'll have to retype them out. Now, imagine that I've done that for all 7 here, and then I'll have a fully completed table, right? And I'll move on to my second skill. And so on and so forth until all 3 of these tables are filled up. Next, it says here, step 17. Of the 7 activities for each skill, which do you feel may be the most beneficial for you in particular to develop? Try to think of these as the ones that you could actually legitimately see yourself doing. It says in the tables above, identify the top 3 most beneficial for each skill and tag them with an asterisk, highlight, or bold them. Okay, so I'm going to go through all of them. I have these 21, and I'm going to identify top 3 for each. So I'd be like, okay, I think that watching LinkedIn Learning, that's like actually a really good one. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to highlight it. And then another one that I like here is make a YouTube video lesson every week, right? That's a good one. And then I would do that until I have 3 for skill 1, and then I'd move down to skill 2, right? So you're doing that until you have your top 3 that are either highlighted, bolded, or tagged with an asterisk for each skill. Step 18. For each skill, copy your top 3 beneficial exercise of activities to the tables below. Okay, once again, going up here, I'm going to copy this first one and paste it down here for my skill of video editing. I'm going to copy my second one. And so on and so forth. Keep doing this until it's completed, until step. By the way, I feel like the words just aren't really coming to me as I'm recording it this morning. So please forgive that I'm jumbling as I'm kind of explaining here. Once you've completed this, right? It says here, step 18, find and open your future plan table document. Now, this is something that you might not have seen yet, but it is one of the documents that you need to download from Slate, right? I'll show you it in a minute. It says this table will help organize an easily viewable skill development plan. And I have it right here. So you can see I have it on the right. This is the future plan table. That's the table. One thing that you could do straight off the bat is put your name at the top. I'll write here Joel Lopata and what field you're in. So my field is the field of education. You could just fill that in according to what's appropriate for you. Then it says, in the left column of the future plan table, type each of your 3 key skills. So my first one over here, you see this column on the left? That is the skills column. So I'm going to say, okay, skill number 1 is video editing. Skill number 2 is PowerPoint design. And I'm actually starting to like in my mind how this whole exercise is playing out. Because I'm starting to see that going through this whole divergent thinking, a number of divergent thinking and convergent thinking processes has really led me to some really important and interesting skills related to my field. Some of them might be domain general skills, and some of them might be domain specific skills. So the third one is arts and crafts. So you see, that is step 19. Step 20, it says in the center column, that's this one over here, practice exercises and activities, enter the top 3 practice activities for each skills. These are the ones that we highlighted and narrowed down to in step 18, in step 17 and 18. So it says in the center column of your future plan table, enter the top 3 practice activities. Be sure they align with the matching skill. For example, a key skill that I feel is important for most professors in 2023 is video editing. So profs can edit their own video lectures. 3 exercises activities that I could see myself doing is watch 1 instructional video, record and edit 1 lesson per month, and edit 1 YouTube vlog for a colleague, right? So let's say those are the ones that I narrowed down. You can see underneath it shows you, it says if you look at the example table below, you can see I've filled these exercise activities in the center column. And my skill is in the column on the left. So what you want to do here is you want to copy and paste these skills from above into the center column here. Once you've done that for all 3 of these skills, you're going to have 9 practice activities exercises that are listed. Pretty handy, I think. So it says here, next, step 21. Draw your attention to the right column of the future plan table. That's the one over here on the right. You can see that one is titled, the heading here is goals. So we've identified skills, we've identified development exercises, practice exercises, and activities. Now we're going to be thinking about goals. For each skill, come up with 3 attainable goals that are related to the skills and activities you've already articulated. Think of these as targets to aim for. 1 short-term goal in the 3-month range, 1 medium-term goal to have accomplished after 6 to 12 months, and 1 long-term goal 2 to 3 years from now, right? And you could see on the future plan table, beside goals, you have those delineations: short-term, medium-term, long-term for this top skill, video editing. Again, for skill number 2, PowerPoint design, short-term, medium-term, long-term. And again, for skill 3, short, medium, long. Okay, so it says here, for example, I have also come up with 3 goals related to the skill: 1 short-term, 1 medium-term, 1 long. My short-term is to have 1 module of lectures live on YouTube. So I'm going to copy and paste that here. My medium-term goal is to have a full course of lectures live on YouTube. Now that's kind of better for a medium-term goal, right? Because we're thinking in terms of what can I accomplish, in 6 to 12 months that's related to watching LinkedIn learning videos, or recording and editing video lessons, or editing YouTube vlogs, right? And then my third one is to be able to have put all of my lectures on YouTube. Now that's going to take a long time. That is more of like a 2 to 3 year plan. So I have those. I'll just capitalize these here. Now you want to do the exact same thing, but you want to do these again for the skills and practice exercise of activities that you've articulated for number 2 and number 3. By the time you're done this, you will have a filled in future plan table. Okay, a filled in future plan table. It says here, congrats, you've completed the process work part of the creative performance plan assignment. 1 thing left. Okay, 1 thing left. And that is the performance plan articulation. See below. The performance plan articulation. In 350 to 500 words, in paragraph form, so not using bullets, in full paragraph form, summarize all the information in your future plan table. Things like who you are and what your field is, what you believe are the 3 key skills in your field that are worthy of development, what skills are domain general, which are domain specific, how you develop these skills through practice-based exercise. So you see what we're doing is we're taking all of our work from the process work that we've compiled in the future plan table and then just explaining it, just articulated it in a file. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'll create a new Microsoft Word document. I'll give it the title. And then here I'm going to go. Who are you and what is your field? My name is Joel Lapata, and I'm a professor of psychology and creativity. My field is higher education, right? And I'll indent here. And maybe I'll make this bold because it's a title. What do you believe are the 3 key skills in your field that are worthy of development? Well, I already kind of came up with that here. So I'll just write, after considerable divergent and convergent thinking work, I narrowed down to 3, how is it phrased over here? Key skills that may lead to success and high performance in the field of higher education. These are 1, video editing. 2, PowerPoint. You see what I'm doing here? I don't want to belabor the point. So that's what I would do. I'd just go through. That's what I recommend you do here. Go through all these points and articulate them out in your own words. And if you need to beef it up to get more than 350, maybe go back and explain a little bit more. I could say a little bit more about my field of higher education. If we fast forward, it says here, once you've completed all the above steps, be sure to submit the 3 documents to the appropriate Dropbox on Slate. Document 1 is this actual Microsoft Word document, file, booklet, as we're calling it here, right? With the screenshots, the photographs pasted in it. That is one. With the tables completely filled in. With all of your divergent thinking and convergent thinking process work. Number 2, the future plan table. Submit that as a second document, completely filled in. And number 3, the performance plan articulation, the written out document. So that's it. That is assignment 3.